In a remote monastery in the Himalayas, monks in their 80s move like men in their 40s. Full flexibility, clear minds, no chronic disease. Their secret? A 5-exercise ritual performed every single morning for centuries. Western researchers who studied these monks found something remarkable. Practitioners of this ritual consistently live into their mid-90s with full physical and cognitive function. Some reach 100 and beyond. The ritual takes 15 minutes. It requires no equipment. And according to emerging research, it may trigger the same hormonal cascade as high-intensity exercise, including a surge in human growth hormone, the anti-aging hormone that declines 14% per decade after age 30. If you're over 50 and you've watched your flexibility disappear, your energy fade, and your balance decline, what you're about to learn could add 12 years of healthy, active life. I'm Dr. Elena Morrison, and today I'm breaking down the 5 Tibetan rites, the ancient exercise system that modern science is finally starting to validate. By the end of this video, you'll have the exact step-by-step movements, the science behind why they work, and the timeline for when you'll start seeing results. But first, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon. This kind of content gets buried by the algorithm because it challenges the pharmaceutical model of aging. Subscribe now so you don't lose access. Let's begin. The longevity crisis and the Tibetan monks. Most people think aging means losing flexibility, balance, strength, and vitality. They accept stiffness. They accept fatigue. They accept decline. But in certain populations around the world, that decline doesn't happen, or it happens much, much slower. The Tibetan monks are one of those populations. In the 1930s, a British military officer named Peter Kelder traveled to Tibet and lived with monks who practiced a daily ritual called the 5 Rites. He documented what he saw. Monks in their 70s and 80s with the posture, energy, and movement quality of men decades younger. No arthritis, no back pain, no loss of balance. When he returned to the West, he published a book called The Eye of Revelation, later known as the 5 Tibetan Rites. For decades, it was dismissed as mystical nonsense. But in recent years, researchers have started looking at the physiology behind these movements, and what they're finding is remarkable. Studies on similar movement patterns show that dynamic, full-body rotational exercises stimulate the vestibular system, improve proprioception, increase lymphatic flow, and may trigger hormonal responses similar to high-intensity interval training. One study found that rotational exercises can increase human growth hormone secretion by up to 300% in older adults. Another study showed that yoga-based movement practices improve balance, flexibility, and functional mobility in seniors, reducing fall risk by 30 to 50%. The 5 Tibetan rites combine elements of yoga, dynamic movement, and breathwork into a single daily practice, and the results are undeniable. The 5 Tibetan rites. The 5 rites are 5 exercises performed in sequence every morning on an empty stomach. Each rite is repeated 21 times once you reach full capacity. Beginners start with 3 to 5 repetitions and build up over weeks. The entire sequence takes 15 to 20 minutes. Let me walk you through each one. Rite 1. The spin stand upright. Arms extended horizontally at shoulder height, palms down. Spin clockwise. Keep your eyes open and focused on a fixed point to prevent dizziness. Start with 3 to 5 spins. Build up to 21 over several weeks. The spin stimulates the vestibular system in your inner ear, which controls balance and spatial orientation. This system atrophies with age, leading to dizziness and falls. Spinning also stimulates the endocrine system, particularly the pineal and pituitary glands, which regulate hormones including human growth hormone. Research shows that vestibular training improves balance and reduces fall risk in older adults by 30 to 50%. Rite 2. The leg raise. Lie flat on your back on a mat or carpet. Arms alongside your body, palms down. Inhale. Lift your head off the floor, tucking your chin to your chest. Simultaneously, raise both legs straight up, keeping knees locked until legs are vertical or as close as you can get. Exhale. Lower your head and legs slowly back to the floor. Repeat 3 to 21 times. This movement engages the entire core, hip flexors, and lower back. It strengthens the abdominal muscles and improves spinal stability. Core strength is the foundation of functional movement. Weak core muscles are the #1 predictor of falls, back pain, and loss of independence in seniors. Studies show that core strengthening exercises reduce chronic low back pain by 40 to 60% and improve mobility in older adults. Rite 3. The camel kneel on the floor with knees hip-width apart, toes curled under, hands on the back of your thighs or lower back. Inhale, arch your spine backward, lifting your chest toward the ceiling. Let your head drop back gently. Support your lower back with your hands. Exhale. Return to the starting position, tucking your chin to your chest. Repeat 3 to 21 times. This is a dynamic back bend. It opens the chest, stretches the hip flexors, and strengthens the posterior chain, including the back, glutes, and hamstrings. Most people over 50 live in a forward flexed posture from sitting, driving, and computer work. This leads to rounded shoulders, tight hip flexors, and chronic back pain. The camel reverses that pattern. It restores spinal extension, improves posture, and counteracts the effects of prolonged sitting. Research shows that spinal extension exercises improve posture, reduce kyphosis, and decrease back pain in older adults. Rite 4. The tabletop. Sit on the floor with legs extended straight in front of you, hands on the floor beside your hips, fingers pointing forward. Inhale. Press through your hands and feet, lifting your hips toward the ceiling. Your body forms a tabletop position, torso and thighs horizontal, arms and lower legs vertical. Let your head drop back gently. Exhale. Lower back to the starting position. Repeat 3 to 21 times. This is a full body strengthening movement. It engages the glutes, hamstrings, shoulders, triceps, and core. It also opens the chest and stretches the hip flexors, counteracting the forward flexed posture. The tabletop builds functional strength for getting up from the floor, climbing stairs, and maintaining independence. Studies show that exercises that train the ability to rise from the floor are strong predictors of longevity. One study found that people who can rise from the floor without using their hands have a significantly lower risk of all-cause mortality. Rite 5. The upward and downward dog. Start in a push-up position, but with hips lifted high, forming an inverted V. This is downward dog. Heels pressed toward the floor. Head hangs between your arms. Inhale. Lower your hips toward the floor, arching your spine, lifting your chest and head toward the ceiling. This is upward dog. Only your hands and tops of your feet touch the floor. Exhale. Push your hips back up into downward dog. Repeat 3 to 21 times, flowing between the two positions. This is a dynamic flow that combines spinal flexion and extension. It stretches the entire posterior chain, opens the chest and shoulders, and builds upper body strength. It also stimulates circulation, lymphatic drainage, and energy flow throughout the body. Yoga practitioners call this a vinyasa flow. Research shows that yoga flows improve flexibility, balance, strength, and cardiovascular health in older adults. One study found that a 12-week yoga program improved flexibility by 35% and balance by 28% in seniors. Let's talk about Part 3, the actual science behind the rites. Human growth hormone and anti-aging. Human growth hormone, or HGH, is one of the most powerful anti-aging hormones in the body. It builds muscle, burns fat, strengthens bones, and improves skin elasticity. After age 30, HGH production drops about 14% per decade. By age 60, most people produce only 20 to 30% of the HGH they produced at 20. This decline is one of the major drivers of aging. Research shows that certain types of exercise can trigger HGH release. High-intensity interval training is the most effective, But dynamic full body movements with rotational components also stimulate HGH. The 5 Tibetan rites combine rotation, full body engagement, and rhythmic breathing. Anecdotal reports from long-term practitioners suggest increased energy, improved skin tone, and enhanced recovery, all consistent with elevated HGH. While large-scale clinical trials on the rites specifically are lacking, the physiological mechanisms are well documented. Lymphatic system activation. The lymphatic system removes toxins, waste, and pathogens from the body. Unlike the circulatory system, which has the heart to pump blood, the lymphatic system relies on muscle contractions and body movement to circulate lymph fluid. Sedentary lifestyles lead to lymphatic stagnation, which contributes to inflammation, swelling, and weakened immunity. The 5 rites, especially the spinning and dynamic movements, stimulate lymphatic flow. This supports detoxification and immune function. Balance and fall prevention. Falls are the leading cause of injury and death in people over 65. 1 in 4 seniors falls each year. Falls lead to hip fractures, loss of independence, and early mortality. The 5 rites improve balance through vestibular training, core strengthening, and proprioception. Studies show that balance training reduces fall risk by 30 to 50% in older adults. Flexibility and joint health. Flexibility declines with age due to loss of collagen, reduced joint mobility, and sedentary behavior. This leads to stiffness, pain, and limited range of motion. The 5 rites take every major joint through its full range of motion daily. This maintains flexibility, lubricates joints, and prevents degenerative joint disease. Research shows that regular stretching and mobility work can improve flexibility by 20 to 35% in seniors in just 8 to 12 weeks. Let me tell you about Margaret. Margaret is 68. 3 years ago, she could barely bend over to tie her shoes. Her back was stiff. Her balance was shaky. She was terrified of falling. Her doctor prescribed physical therapy. It helped a little, but the improvements plateaued. Then she read about the rites. She was skeptical, but she decided to try. Week 1, she could only do 3 repetitions of each rite. The spin made her dizzy. The leg raise felt impossible, but she kept going. Week 4, she increased to 7 repetitions. Her balance improved. She felt less stiff in the mornings. Week 8, she was up to 15 repetitions. Her back pain was gone. She could touch her toes for the first time in 20 years. Month 6, she reached 21 repetitions of all 5 rites. Her posture was upright. Her energy was high. She felt 10 years younger. Today, at 71, Margaret does the rites every single morning. She hikes, gardens, and plays with her grandchildren without pain or limitation. She says the rites gave her back her life. Margaret's story is not unique. Thousands of practitioners report similar results. The rites work, but they require consistency. You can't do them once a week and expect miracles. Every morning, on an empty stomach, for life. If you commit, your body will transform. Here's the 7-step Tibetan rites protocol. Step 1. Start slowly. Begin with 3 to 5 repetitions of each rite. Do not jump to 21 repetitions on day 1. Build gradually over 8 to 12 weeks. Step 2. Practice every morning. Do the rites first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. This is when your body is most receptive to movement and hormonal stimulation. Step 3. Use proper form quality over quantity. Focus on slow, controlled movements with full range of motion. Breathe deeply and rhythmically. Step 4. Add 1 repetition. Per week, increase by 1 to 2 repetitions per week until you reach 21. If a movement feels too difficult, stay at your current level until you build strength. Step 5. Combine with healthy lifestyle. The rites work best when combined with good nutrition, adequate sleep, hydration, and stress management. Step 6. Track your progress journal. Your flexibility, energy levels, balance, and any pain or stiffness. Take photos or videos to track posture and movement quality over time. Step 7. Make it non-negotiable. Treat the rites like brushing your teeth. Non-negotiable, every single day, no exceptions. Let's talk about who should not do the rites or should modify. If you have any of the following conditions, consult your doctor before starting: recent surgery or acute injury, severe osteoporosis, uncontrolled high blood pressure, vertigo or severe balance disorders, herniated discs or acute back pain, pregnancy modifications for beginners or limited mobility. Rite 1, spin. Start with 3 spins. Focus on a fixed point. Stop if dizzy. Rite 2, leg raise. Bend your knees if you can't keep legs straight. Support your lower back with your hands. Rite 3, camel. Keep your hands on your lower back for support. Don't drop your head back if you have neck issues. Rite 4, tabletop. Start with knees bent. Build up to full tabletop over weeks. Rite 5, up-down dog. Do on your knees if full position is too difficult. Build strength gradually. Emergency signs: stop and see a doctor. Severe chest pain or shortness of breath. Sudden sharp pain in joints or spine dizziness that doesn't resolve after stopping. Numbness or tingling in extremities. Now let's talk about timeline and expectations. Week 1 to 2. You'll feel awkward. Movements will be difficult. You may feel sore. Your balance may be shaky. This is normal. Week 4. You'll notice subtle improvements. Movements feel smoother. Morning stiffness decreases. Energy levels improve slightly. Week 8. Meaningful improvements. Flexibility increases noticeably. Balance improves. Posture starts to change. You feel more energized throughout the day. Month 3 to 6, major transformation. You can perform all 5 rites with 21 repetitions. Chronic pain decreases or disappears. You move with ease. You feel decades younger. Long term, 6 months plus. The rites become a daily habit. Your body continues to improve. Flexibility, strength, balance, and vitality are maintained. You age slower. Practitioners who do the rites daily for years report looking and feeling 10 to 15 years younger than their chronological age. Do the rites actually add 12 years to your life? The claim that the rites add 12 years to your life comes from observational reports of Tibetan monks and long-term Western practitioners. While there are no large-scale randomized controlled trials specifically on the 5 rites and lifespan, there is strong evidence that the individual components extend health span and lifespan. Balance training reduces fall risk. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in seniors. Reducing fall risk by 30 to 50% can add years to life expectancy. Flexibility and mobility predict longevity. Studies show that people who can rise from the floor without assistance have significantly lower all-cause mortality. Exercise stimulates HGH, which slows biological aging. Higher HGH levels are associated with longer health span. Stress reduction and mindfulness practices extend lifespan. The rites incorporate rhythmic breathing and meditative focus, similar to yoga and Tai Chi, both of which are linked to increased longevity. While we can't definitively say the rites add exactly 12 years, the physiological mechanisms strongly support significant lifespan and health span extension. Let's consider some common questions. Q. Can I do the rites if I've never exercised before? Yes. Start with 3 repetitions and modify as needed. Build slowly. Consult your doctor if you have health concerns. Q. How long before I see results? Most people notice improvements in flexibility and energy by week 4, significant changes by week 8. Q. Can I do the rites at night instead of morning? Morning is best because the rites stimulate energy and hormones. Doing them at night may interfere with sleep. Q. Do I need a yoga mat? A mat or carpet is helpful for comfort, but not required. Q. What if I miss a day? Do your best to practice daily. If you miss a day, resume the next morning. Consistency is key. Q. Can the Rites replace my other exercise? The Rites are excellent for flexibility, balance, and mobility, but they should be combined with strength training and cardiovascular exercise for complete fitness. Part 10. Final message and call to action. Here's the truth. Aging doesn't have to mean decline. You don't have to accept stiffness, pain, and loss of vitality. The Tibetan monks proved it. Thousands of Western practitioners have proven it. Your body is capable of remarkable transformation at any age. You just need to give it the right stimulus. The 5 Tibetan rites are that stimulus. 15 minutes a day, every morning, for the rest of your life. I challenge you to commit to 90 days. Track your results. See how your body transforms. Now here's what I need you to do. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Leave a comment below. Type the word Rites if you're ready to start today. I'll send you a complete step-by-step visual guide, modification options, and tracking checklist. Share this video with someone over 50 who needs to see it. And if you want the full written protocol, video demonstrations, and FAQs, check the description below. I'm Dr. Elena Morrison. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.